Hello everyone, this is Karamu once again, and I want to demonstrate to you all on how you can create a flowchart in R programming. There are moments that we wanted to create flowcharts in Microsoft Word documents, and we get to have this problem bringing the arrows together, drawing our circles or ovals, and at the end of the day, it goes chunky towards us. So no problem. I'm going to show you how to create a simple flowchart in R programming, and that will help you to accomplish a lot of tasks that you have specified to you on your specific projects that you have. So in this demonstration, we're going to use the diagram R package. So first, before you can use this package, you have to install in your computer. So if you install it in your computer, you go ahead and load the library of this package, and now go ahead with whatever we want to do to create a fancy plot for your flowchart. All right, so let's assume that you don't have this installed in your computer, and I'm gonna go with you on specific steps that you need to do to install this package in your computer. So let's get started. Install dot package function is gonna help you to install this package in your computer, right? So we type diagram R. So this is the package we're going to use for this demonstration. So if you don't have it installed, just type this code and click run. So it will be installed in your computer. So but I already have it in my computer installed, so I don't have to run this code again. So after you run this code and diagram R is already installed in your computer, so what you're going to do is you have to load the library of this package. So library diagram R. So now we load this library by clicking the run function. All right, so we run it already now in R. So what we're going to do now is let's go ahead and draw our flowchart in R. So we said diagram R, we bring in two columns, and we type graph visualize, and we type diagram. We open our curly braces, and in our curly braces we're gonna specify the settings of our nodes. All right, so diagram, we're gonna first set our layout. The layout is dot, and we're also gonna set the rank direction. That means the rank 0 to right. Let's indicate right by default. We're gonna change it later and see how it affects our overall output. And the second settings, we're gonna fix this node, and these nodes have to do with the shape of how our nodes are gonna appear. And shape, let's say we're gonna use oval. Meanwhile, we're gonna use oval, and we're gonna change it after and use rectangle or square or circle. So now let's go ahead and draw our nodes. All right, so let's indicate the first node will be level as, let's say, sample size, right? And we create a second node, and we label that as the mini sample. Just anything you want to put inside this string, it's pretty okay. It depends on the content of your flowchart. All right, so you can change these things if you like. So this just are demonstrations. I hope you get that. So let's write the third node to be okay, flowchart. All right, and now let's stop at these three nodes. We're gonna increase these nodes later on based on what we require to do. So let's stop here first, and now we are going to write a comment here, and the comment is gonna be like, now let's fix our nodes together. And how do we fix these nodes? Now we're gonna set, we want the node 1 to be connected to node 2 and to be connected to node 3. That's how we want our nodes to be. We want this sample size to be connected to mini sample and to be connected to flowchart. So after we have that one here, let's bring this up. Okay, so we have opened the curly braces here. So now let's go ahead and close these curly braces, Okay, now we're gonna specify the height of our flowchart. What's gonna be the length? So the height is, let's say, 200 manual, and we're gonna change it after and say. So this is it though you need to do to get your flowchart running in R programming. So when we click this, so this is our code, but there's a problem here. This is 3, and in our node 3 we only indicate label this as flowchart, not 3 as an integer form. So the problem is the spelling here is not correct, so we have to make sure that the spelling is correct. So label flowchart. So let's run this again. Voila, that's fixed, right? So the fourth node is sample size, and this connected, as we have seen here, to 2, and the second node is mini sample, and that's connected to our third node that was labeled as the flowchart that we have seen here. So the RR here is default, that shows the direction of our ranking. These are first rank, second rank, and the third rank, and we want this to follow in the right sequence format, right? So the shape here is oval. We can change this shape to, instead of oval, because the shape here looks like an oval, right? So we can say change this and make it as, let's say, rectangle. Good. So when we click this, you're gonna see that there is change in how our boxes here look like. The first one was oval, and normally in most studies or projects they use rectangle type, or they use the oval type, but it depends on what you like. So let's assume that we want to create third node here, and that's going to be node 4, and let's label node 4 as, label this as 111222, right? And let's say let node number 3 be connected to this one. Sorry, let node number 3, this is the third one, let it be connected to our fourth node here. So we run this and see. Good, 111222. And you can ask yourself why I don't put these things in a string format, because this is an integer value. So this is in a string format, and you can, if you want to put this in a string format, it's also fine. That means your computer is going to record it as a string. But if you don't want to put it in string, you just put it in an integer way, it's pretty okay. It depends on what you want to put inside. So if you type this and said Karamo and you run this, it's going to give an error because this is not an integer, this is a string. So you have to make sure that and put these things in a string format, right? So here it works. But if you're only gonna use the numbers, it's gonna be an integer, you don't have to put them in a string, it's gonna definitely work. So let's go ahead and say, instead of for mini sample here connected to flowchart only, we want this mini sample to be connected to flowchart and likewise connected to blah 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 here. All right, so in that case what you're going to do is you have to leave your nodes intact because your nodes are okay. So in case you want to increase your node here, instead of 4 nodes you want to increase 5 6 7 8, just have to do the same thing here and then write what you want content of your node to be. Just increase this here and specify the content. All right, so now we want this mini sample to be connected to flowchart and likewise this one. So what we're gonna do is, let's just reduce these numbers, it's confusing. 12, okay. So we want 3 to be connected, 2 to be connected to 3 and 4. So we have to remove this one, 2 to be connected to 3, and let 2 to be connected to 4 as well. So how this run? Cool. So this is how the output looks like. We want our node 2 to be connected to 3 and 4. So now let's change this rank direction and see how it affects our flowchart. So we said left, right, and we click this. So we can see that it starts from sample size, from node 1. The direction now starts from sample 1, sample size, node 1, that is the sample size. It will go up to mini sample, node 2 and node 3 and node 4 here. And when we change this to right, left, and we run this, we will see that it now starts from sample size and moving towards this way, but the direction here changes, right? So it depends on the direction you want to specify for your flowchart, but by default let's assume that it is right. So we click this and it brings us back to the first one, and the height here shows the length of your flowchart. In case you want to set 600 or 500, 600 is way too big, so let's set 400 in case and see how it goes. So this is 400, right? So it's pretty big, but it depends on the content where you're gonna paste these things, right? And after drawing this, you want to use this for your projects or for your assignment. Just click here, export, save this as either clipboard, or save it as a web page, or save it as an image. Assuming that you want to save it as an image, and the name of the file, you indicated the endpoint of the file, whether the file is going to be JPEG or PNG and so on. And you click the directory, will take you to whether you want your file to be saved in a document folder or downloads and so on. And finally, just click save, right? So they have some settings here. The height, you specify the height of your flowchart here, whether your height want to be 333, but this is the default value. But in case you want it to be less than this or more than this, just manually increase this or decrease it, depends on yourself. And after doing all the stuff here, just click save, and it should have it saved on your computer. So this is all what you can do in order to create flowchart in R programming. So I hope you find the video helpful, and I hope that it helps you to accomplish any problem you have regards to flowchart using R programming. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your time.